Hello, I'm Christine Rigda, and I'm the Records Management Librarian for the University of Toledo. And I'd like to talk to you today with this short video about the topic of records management. What is it? Why do we do it? Why is it important? And what do we have to do in order to be in compliance? So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And first talk about what is a record. So under the Ohio Public Records Act, a record is any document, device, or item that is stored on a fixed medium, created, received, or sent under the jurisdiction of a public office. And most importantly, it documents the organization, function, policies, decisions, procedures, operations, or other activities of the office. So we're creating records all the time in our daily activities. And most university business, because it's documenting the organization in some way, is going to require following what we call a retention schedule. So what is a retention schedule? A retention schedule is a document which I have on a website, which I'm going to show you in another short video. And it defines different types of records, how long we need to keep them, and what we need to do to dispose of them. You know, whether we need to shred them, whether we need to transfer them to archives if they have historical value. And so most of the records that we're going to be creating in our daily activities will require us following those guidelines. Transient records do not. And transient records are those that are drafts of documents. They could be copies of documents. They're not the originals, or they're superseded documents. And I went into this a little bit before, but what is a retention schedule? They are guidelines that define how particular documents should be retained and how to dispose of them. And in Ohio, we follow the guidelines from the Inter-University Council of Ohio, the IUC. And this is just taken from our policy statement. It just says that we as a university, we go by the Records Retention for Public Colleges and Universities, a manual developed by the Inter-University Council of Ohio. And this document was created originally, it was in 2009. It's under the process of being revised, but it was created in 2009, and it basically grouped together, you know, we're all universities in Ohio, we create the same types of documents. So we wanted to create some kind of large encompassing document that we could all use so that we wouldn't all have to create our own retention schedules. So that's what it is. But I want to go into a little bit of why we do this, why it's important to follow retention schedules, why it's important to dispose of our documents time to time under certain conditions. And one of the main reasons is that it's efficient management of resources. You know, documents take up space, whether they're physical documents or electronic documents. And, you know, once we get so many on there, I know this personally from looking at my department Z drive, things are very hard to find. We have kept things too long. You know, we haven't had a whole lot of organization there. So getting rid of things when they need to be disposed of, make things more organized and then easier to locate. We also do it because of compliance. We need to follow state and federal regulations, and for organizational memory, so that we're not just throwing out bits of our history. We also have to keep in mind accountability. You know, we're accountable to the public, students, the government, board of trustees, grant funding entities, and so on. And another important reason is for liability. You know, if there's any kind of court proceeding, if any documents are requested, if we've kept things too long, and you know, we're liable for them. If someone comes asking for a document, you know, and we find out, oh, that was something, you know, we probably should have gotten rid of 5 years ago, but we have it. We still have to turn that over. and we're liable for that. So this just keeps things clean, keeps things efficient and organized. So I want to go into a little bit of how we do records management, how you can look at your documents and know what to do with them. A lot of departments are doing a very good job with this, but for those of you who have not even started, it's very important. I like to tell people to start out with taking an inventory of your documents. And again, this goes for both print documents and electronic documents, documents that are on your computer, in your email, documents that are on your department shares. And the next step would be to consult the retention schedule. And I mentioned that this is the IUC manual. And what I did was I created another document called the General Retention Schedule, which is based on the IUC schedule. It goes into greater detail, and I'll be showing you that in the next video when I show you the website where you can find all this information. But the IUC schedule I found to be very broad, so I worked with Bowling Green and Wright State and the University of Cincinnati, who created a more robust document that cover a lot more different types of records, and they're all based on the IUC. And that is available to you on the Records Management website, which I will show you in the next video. But it's about a 40-page document, and it'll go into great detail about what type of record it is, how long to keep it, and what you do with it, whether you shred it, whether you can just throw it away, whether you need to transfer it to archives. And then each entry is followed up with an IUC number, which refers to the IUC schedule, because that's what we do follow. So when you do that, you find things that you have in your department that are on the general schedule, and then you can dispose of them. If you find that you have things that are not on the general schedule, or you have something has a different, you want to keep it a little bit longer than the general schedule says, or you follow a different regulation or rule, based on maybe a grant funding agency, then you'll need to create your own personal retention form or departmental form. And that will also be available on the Records Management website, which I will show you. And then you would email it to me at recordsmanagement@utoledo.edu. So then I would look that document over and sign it, and then I will file it and post it on the Records Management website. And I'm just giving you the website right here. It's there's a link. It's actually a SharePoint site, and I'll be showing you that. So for disposing of records, what do you have to do? You have to identify first what you need to dispose of, or whether it needs to be transferred to the archives for permanent retention. And then you'll fill out a certificate of disposal. And this is also found on the website that I'm going to show you. And I again will sign it. You'll sign it, I'll sign it, and then I'll post it on our website. And you'll need to do this not only for print files that you dispose of, but also for electronic, because they are treated the same way. And electronic records, very important. A lot of times, people think about records management, they just think of print, but we're doing mostly electronic these days. Emails, Word, Excel documents, voicemails, text messages, systems like Banner, those are all records. And most of them, you don't really have to worry about email. If you, most of those things are managed by IT. Word, Excel documents, those are things that you need to be aware of. Voicemail, most of those things are going to be transient. Text messages, they are also subject to this, even if you're not receiving a stipend on your phone. Just be aware that text messages can be called if there ever is any kind of court proceeding and they need access. We don't look at your phone. We don't do any of that, but we just want to make you aware that that they are documents, they are records. And then systems like Banner, again, those are managed by IT, who follows the general retention schedule. And again, I just want to reiterate, electronic records follow the same retention guidelines as print records. So the last thing I just want to talk about today is a little bit about those electronic records, especially on your Z drive or your OneDrive. Make sure that you keep it clean, remove old files that have expired and are no longer useful. Make sure the folder names accurately describe the files they contain. Name files appropriately. Come up with some kind of convention that you're going to know just by looking at it what it is. Here's some examples. You may want to start with a folder, for the year 2019 and 2020. The next directory down, faculty council, then meeting minutes, and then what the meeting file name is and whether it's a draft or not. Those are just some recommendations. That's all I wanted to talk to you today, just to give you a little bit of a background and a little bit of general information about records management. I'm going to be talking in the next video about the website where you can find all of these resources, and it'll make a little more sense to you what I'm talking about when I talk about general retention schedule and the certificate of disposal. So stay tuned for that. And I can be reached at recordsmanagement@utoledo.edu. If you have any questions at all, please email me. You can also call me at 419-530-2333. Thank you.